This is You'll Be First, a Megan York Suspense Thriller, Book 4, written by Ava Strong, read by Theresa. Prologue. Wyatt waddled hurriedly through the frigid morning air toward his station at the bridge operator's booth, but as he judged by the first streaks of dawn light peeking over the horizon, he was already late. The bus he relied on had always run on time, at least until that morning. But he should have known that wasn't something to take for granted. At least he knew then just how much of a priority he needed to make buying a car of his own. Even if it was some ancient, decrepit lemon he needed a payday loan to afford, it'd be worth it. Wyatt used to be the local troublemaker around Twin Lakes. Or at least, he knew that's what Deputy Sheriff Megan York always used to call him, whenever she brought him in for all the troublemaking he used to get up to. But in the last few months, he'd built up the courage to finally try and turn his life around. He'd found himself a job that he could hold down for more than a few weeks, and it wasn't the kind of job for which he could show up late. Fortunately, as he finally sat down in the chair behind the operator's booth, he saw that the only lights on the water were still a few minutes away. He'd been just in time then. There hadn't yet been any collisions with his drawbridge during his tenure as its operator, and he intended to keep it that way. But even though it was clear he'd avoided responsibility for any kind of accident, he didn't find himself calming down easily. It was only a few degrees above freezing, and it felt like the cold itself was keeping him on edge. He held his coffee close to his chin, trying to thaw himself out a bit with its warmth, as he watched the first lights on the first boat of the morning grow closer. Before the vessel was quite in range, Wyatt decided to start raising the bridge. It was clear there weren't any motorists coming in either direction anyway. He took a sip from his coffee, then turned the key in the operator's console and pressed the button to start the lifting mechanism. But as the bridge raised and the boat drew still closer, it slowed down and then stopped in the water. The searchlight on its prow swiveled from the bridge, then flickered over Wyatt's window in the operator's booth. The sudden brightness blinded him unexpectedly for a moment, just as he heard the boat's horn sounding. "Oh, come on," Wyatt muttered to himself. "What's the big idea? I was doing you a favor." He looked to his right, toward the other side of the drawbridge. No boats coming the other direction. But the vessel in the river in front of him wasn't budging. On a distant bend of the communicating road, he saw headlights of the first traffic headed for his now raised drawbridge. But someone on the boat below only flashed the light again over his window and blew the horn again. Wyatt was starting to get pissed off. He didn't want anyone else to be late for their jobs, because they'd...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?